I would say I am like in animation world, I am maybe not such a typical animator, because I like to explore certain topics that are not so classic, let's say. But I mean, this is such a broad field that I think it's difficult to talk about any classic animation, at least in author films. Average Happiness is a film about and with statistical diagrams who are getting erotic. So it's like a trip and a journey to the world of statistical diagrams. And actually I made this film because I did a spelling error. I had to write a proposal for another project and I wrote onanigram instead of organigram for some reason. And onanie in German means masturbation. And that gave me the idea to look at these graphs in a different way, like to see them as bodies and sensual beings. And I think this was really something that in this pandemic, when we were looking so much at these graphs and on these curves, it is like a relief to see them act in a different way and to have their own hidden beauty shown in a film or in another situation. So it was like actually using them in a complete different way. And I was really into this topic not because I am into statistics at all, because I thought it is just like a strange thing that we are doing. We are trying to measure things that cannot be measured, like for example happiness. There is even a happiness report every year published with a ranking of the happiest and the unhappiest countries in the world. So this is interesting for me, and I think that statistics is a sort of a religion, because we don't have these religions anymore. We use the numbers and the algorithms as a sort of oracle and a sort of almost religious experience. And me personally, the only thing I believe in the world is doubt. So for me, it's just something completely out of range. And the pandemic with me was somehow also changing a bit my relation to statistics, because I still think you shouldn't rely completely on numbers. But in this time where nobody knew nothing, it was again an important tool to really try to figure out what was actually happening. And before that, I felt statistics more that it is like being used to prove whatever thing that you want to have proved, and also manipulated quite a lot. And I would say that in this pandemic there probably also happened this kind of stuff, but it gave back relevance to statistics that before, for me at least, it didn't have anymore. And still, of course, you have the problem that you try to investigate things and to prove things that are actually impossible to prove or to measure.
Tu es là, avec moi dans mon cœur. Vous avez vu tous les amours, tellement pressants.
And with this film, it is actually also interesting how the idea came, because it was I was working with the composer, that did the music for the film, and she was making a diploma work in her jazz degree, and I was doing visuals, and I projected on sandpaper at a certain point, and I liked very much the lights on the sandpaper. And then I did some scenography for another project, and I wanted to do a floor out of sandpaper, which was completely insane, too expensive, not really making any sense when you want to show fashion, because the dress will crash or whatever. But this somehow gave me this idea to have a floor made out of sandpaper, and then somehow this step to use these wooden figures was quite small. And I tell you this in detail because I think it's just so interesting how you come to ideas, and when the idea is here, it seems obvious. It seems obvious that you make wooden puppets having an erotic moment on sandpaper to show how it is to get lost in your lust, actually. Lost in your lust. But it's very strange how you come to these ideas. And then later I saw these photographs of Man Ray, where he's actually posing these sketch figurines in erotic positions. And I was so happy because I found an artist that I knew only these very obvious works that he did, that you can see even on the coffee cream in the cafe, and I somehow could really explore his work more, and I saw it was like a brother that died maybe 150 years ago. No, that's not so long, but who was not there anymore. And I think all this stuff that is around your idea and is accompanying these projects also, because we work so long on these short films, there is so much stuff that is actually connected to these stories and to these projects that are not really appearing on screen in the end, but are still feeding the work.
Sans fin, sans début, sans larmes. C'est toi, c'est lui, celle qu'elle va tisser.
I think also that it was just partly received in a difficult way. I know of people who said, which stupid macho man did make this film, you know, these kind of things. And I think the problem is that there is penises inside, even if they are wooden ones. So there are quite a phallic, quite a heterosexual approach to sexuality, and probably for some people this was not inclusive but exclusive, but I was just showing my way of seeing eroticism, so it's just one statement out of many statements. I just don't understand the problem of eroticism and feminism, because I think eroticism is something that is so diverse. But what I can understand is the problem with sexism, but I don't believe that my work is sexistic. And I think what hurt me so much about these reactions was that I am a feminist. I mean, I am not this kind of artist who say it's not important and la la la. I think it's very important on a political level, but in my work I am dealing with very individual, personal things, and it's not really related to any political movement.